Hi guys, and today we'll be looking at this Hattons locomotive, and this is the South East and Chatham P class, and this is number 753 in the South East and Chatham fully lined green with brass. So this is from Hattons. It's my only Hattons thing at the moment I have, and this cost me £99 from Hattons, and I believe you can still buy them in a few liveries. They are nice, and like I said, this cost me £99, and it's a small wheelbase, but it can do everything that a £250 loco can. So let's get into it and see what it's all about, and see if it's worth the £99, shall we? Starting off at the detail bag, you do get quite a lot of stuff here. You get new buffers with different lining or no lining in this case to replace the ones you've got in case you want to change them. You also get some vacuum pipes by the looks of it too, or air pipes. You get lamps, red and green ones. You also get the hook with chain link couplings on, and I also believe you get a few other stuff. It is quite a big bag for a small locomotive. Onto the front of the locomotive. Surprisingly, you do get sprung buffers for such a small locomotive. It's a nice touch. They are metal, they are sprung. The housing themselves is lined. The buffer beam is lined as well. We also have the number of the loco, which is 752 if I'm correct. We have a vacuum pipe or an air pipe there. We also have a hole there for the hook and chain link. That's in the detail bag. We also have a small tension lock coupling there. It is nice, the buffer beam. Moving up, we at least have some rivets and at least 3 lamp irons I can see. They do look to be separately applied. We also have a picked out bracing and hinges and all the rest of it on the smoke box door, along with a Dart 2, which is picked out in silver. It's quite nice actually. We also have, which I believe is another lamp iron at the top, and we have a handrail going round as well. And then we have the chimney, which looks a little like a Great Western one to me. As we have a size view of the locomotive, both sides are different, which you expect. We'll start off this side first. The loco is in a green, a South East and Chatham green, railway green, with some lining. The lining, I'm worried which it is. I think it's light green and yellow mixed in with a black, I believe. I could be wrong on the boiler at least anyway. On the tanks, we do have the South East and Chatham Railway crest, which all the tampo printing on this locomotive is fantastic to a high standard. We also have tampo printing on the wheels. This locomotive is a 060 steam locomotive, and like I said, tampo printed on that. Also on the steps and the chassis. The chassis is die cast. We also have a tap and a builder's plate, I believe, near the cab doors. On the other side, we have the number of the loco. We also have a piping going from the chassis to the boiler, just past the tanks, which is painted and it is nice. We do have a handrail going all the way around the locomotive from tank to tank. We have a chimney, a dome, safety valves and whistle. The whistle's on top of the cab, that is metal. The dome is painted in a gold to make it look like it should be shiny, but it's not too bad. I don't mind it. As we move round to the other side, there's a few differences. Like I said, we still have the builder's plate around this side and the number of the locomotive on the bunker. We also have the crest and the South East and Chatham initials on the tanks. We also have the lining on the whistles and steps and chassis as well. But we do have a, which I want to say is a Western House pump. If I'm wrong, I do apologise. And next to that, we do have some separate applied piping. We also have an air gap, and there's no motion inside. We just have an air gap. It is nice for this sort of loco. I do like it. And again, we have a little tap down near the neck of the boiler. And as we move on to the part that I think most people are interested in the review is the cab area. The cab itself is highly detailed. The dials are painted, the water gauge is done, the piping is all painted. I believe there's a wood flooring, but I'm unsure if I can get a good picture of it. Also, we do have a glazing bar in the front and the rear of the cab. The cab is painted in a cream as well. Like I said, we have a glazing bar in the back of the cab, and that is painted as well. It is a nice touch there by Hattons. As we move on to the back or the bunker area of the locomotive, the locomotive does have sprung metal buffers. and the housings are the ones that are lined. We do see a bit of that red engine frames underneath. We also have a small tension lock coupling as well. We have a vacuum pipe, and we also have a hole for the hook and link. We have lining on the buffers themselves. I think it's orange or yellow. Moving up, we do have at least 3 lamp irons in the usual places. We also have a lining on the bunker itself in that lining I'm unsure about. It's definitely a lighter green. We also have some hooks there, I think, for tools and buckets. We also have a coal load in there, which I'm not sure is removable, but it doesn't really bother me. And a little bit further up, we also have the gold around the window frames, and we also have the bars to stop the coal going through to the cab, through the windows. It is a highly detailed back end. We also have some rivets as well. As we do a bird's eye view of this tank engine, the coal load itself isn't too bad. It's not removable, I don't think. It could be, I could be wrong. Moving on to the cab itself, we do have some rivets dotted around on the cab, mainly where the ducts are for the rain or the water, to not get in the driver's way. We also have a vent which doesn't move, it's moulded. It's not an issue for me. We have a metal whistle, which is fantastic. Moving across to the boiler area. As you can see, the boiler does have that lining, and it is done very nice, if I'm honest with you. I can't work out what sort of lining it is. I think it could be yellow and green. We also have a safety valve, which is painted in gold, and the in-between bits are in red and black, which is nice. We have a painted dome as well. Onto the chimney. The chimney itself is separately applied. It does have a Great Western feel to it. Copper on top. We do have a handrail going around. We also have some more piping that I probably didn't mention, but it's there. It's in copper as well. And we also have the water filler caps on the tanks with a few handrails dotted around, and some moulded piping too on the tanks. And finally, as we do a underneath look at the chassis, like I said, the chassis I believe is die cast. It is cold when you touch it, so I guess it's die cast. It is painted in this Indian red or burgundy colour, which is nice. The base plate itself is in black. Just have a few screws to take off the base plate to get to the inside. You have to remove the brake rigging as well, which I hate, but it's there anyway. Like I said, we do have the brake rigging as well. We have the brakes and all that sort of stuff, and the sanding gear as well down there. We have both couplings at either end, which are small, tension lock NEM ones, I believe. They are in black, and they do stick out a little bit compared to the chassis. We also have pickups on all 6 wheels. It is quite nice. There's quite a lot of detail there. The pickups do work wonderful. So yeah guys, that's it on the tracks. As you tell, it's on the inner line. Next up will be second radius, even though it's on there, and also points test. Let's see how well this chassis, small wheelbase chassis, can do. Quite impressive for very, very small. Look at 25. I do like that for DC. Like I say, small wheelbase. That, my friend, is quite impressive. I had bigger locos that I struggled. So yeah, it managed that pretty well. Quite fantastic actually, especially the points test. That was quite good for a small wheelbase locomotive. As you can see, it's on the second radius, so we'll run out second radius for some difference. Slow speed next, and then we'll buy some stock for it, shall we? Little stumble there. What is it? We're talking 30. I don't know how this is geared. That's my controller making it stop. The wire's a bit iffy. It's not bad. It's still smooth. So yeah guys, that's the end of the video. Before I give you my opinion, I'll show you what it ran with. Just some Hornby 4-wheeled and 6-wheeled generic coaches. One Great Northern and 2 LNER ones. I've seen it in many videos and photos that these had these sort of coaches. At the time of recording, the Genesis coaches by Hattons are not out, so I thought these were suitable looking coaches. I think they look the part anyway. So my opinion on the P-Class, fantastic model, lots of detail for £99. It is quite small. It's not even the size of the coach in front of it, so it is quite small. Technically these are OF locomotive. I didn't really fancy running freight, just something different. I'd highly recommend these. You could use them as a station pilot or rail tour sort of thing. They do many liveries, from pre-grouping to war, and to BR, and I think preserved as well. I think you can get Bluebell in blue. So it covers a wide range of things, and it is a nice southern loco for a reasonable price, if I'm honest with you. It has fantastic detail. It runs well. Yeah, it was a bit jerky in places on the video, but that's because my track's a little dirty still from the D-Class traction tyre locomotive. That's the only reason it's a little jerky, and the second radius doesn't really get used that often, if I'm honest with you. But failing that, it's still a good runner. I had no issues. It's fantastic. Highly recommend these. That's my opinion on it. Anyway guys, I will see you in the next video, so please take care. Bye.